work rearranging after our therapy session. You rearranged the space.
I feel so much better.
Got it off our chest.
I got it off our chest. Feel so much better. I'm a lot calmer now.
Good. It is no longer the focal point.
Exactly. So, you know, there's a couple ways that we combated this. So we spoke about primary and secondary focal points. It is absolutely okay in a space to have two focal points, one being the primary, one being the secondary. And that is something that's taking a lot of people to kind of come to terms with. But because of technology in our spaces, we're really talking about TV being a primary, and that's really what we're looking at now. We're not really looking at the fireplaces anymore.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that we did. If you remember in the first segment, we had the darker walls. It was the Benjamin Moore Davenport tan, beautiful color, but what it lent to was creating even more of a focal point for the contrasting color in the fireplace.
Yeah.
So we've lightened it up to the pale almond, which is a lot more, it kind of blends in. So you still have the beautiful piece, but it's blending into it really, really well.
Nice.
Right? Now the second thing is, so we've moved the TV over, instead of being over the fireplace, we've now created our secondary, or our primary focal point, the fireplace now being our secondary focal point, and in a couple ways. If you remember last time I was here, we spoke about visual weight and kind of being weighted on one side to another. So having the sofa now look at the wall where the TV is, and you know, some artwork around the TV, perhaps do an art wall, with a heavier piece like this is really weighting the space to this side, so naturally our eye is drawn here. All of a sudden that fireplace isn't the focal point that I'm drawn into anymore. This is now.
Right.
Let's talk about the types of furniture that we chose. If you remember in the first segment, we had a rectangular coffee table. Most people are comfortable with angles. That's just the way our minds think. And when we have a rectangular, kind of like the side of the sofa here, we're most comfortable with having that linear line there. What I've done here to kind of cheat the eye, we want to cheat the eye and play away from the angles, is we've introduced this Noguchi coffee table here that has kind of an odd, almost circular, well, it's not circular, it's a kidney shape, but it's rounded edges. So I'm not feeling anymore that I need to have everything so straight lines. All of a sudden, I'm feeling a lot better about the fact that I'm not playing into that corner anymore. I'm now kind of feeling better about the round edges. It's a lot softer. It's not as harsh as it was before, right?
Yeah, no, very smart. And that is true. You know, you don't even notice psychologically what a rectangular shape is doing for you in terms of how it makes you feel and where you sit, your placement in the room. And it's your eye that's drawing you in a certain way. So the way that we place the furniture or the angles that we choose to play to, it's a psychological thing. It's our eye, it's naturally what we feel most comfortable with. So we have to teach ourselves. That's where we started with our therapy, and we held hands and we said it no longer is my primary focal point. It doesn't have to be. So we have to reteach ourselves that it's okay not to. Now the other thing that I do want to mention is that rug placement and not totally forgetting about the fireplace. So yes, the fireplace was kind of the primary focal point in the first segment. We've now changed it into the secondary, but we don't want to make it seem like we're stuck with it. It's not there. We want to make it look intentional. So the way that we've done that here is making this the secondary focal point. I've added these two great round knitted poofs in front of it. It's almost like a little seating area, which is warm and cozy in front of the fireplace, but something that's easy enough to move away should you want to, right? So it's not something that is so stationary and again fixed that we're kind of zoning in on that fireplace over there. Okay, so it's incorporated, but it's not the focal. It's not the main focal point. It's the secondary focal point. Rug placement. Now, a little bit of me is dying right here because the rug is not under the entire set. But in a perfect world, we would have a rug. The furniture would either be sitting completely on the rug or at least 6 to 8 inches under the furniture. The thing is when you have a rectangular rug like this facing again the angle to the fireplace, we're drawn in that way. So we have the rectangular here, but as Suzanne was saying in the first segment, it is absolutely okay. And I love the look of having a rug on rug. And it's nice to have kind of that eclectic look of rugs all over. So consider doing a circular, an oval, and just kind of play with them and play with the angles and play with maybe facing some this way where it softens the line that way. So we're again not concentrating on the fireplace, but we know it's there and we love it. Okay, well, let's take a look at the before now. So we're going to go back in time before our therapy. Remember those days? So that's how it looked when we were paying all of our attention to the corner fireplace. So with just a few fixes, you can see the fireplace still beautiful over there in the corner, but we have a whole new focal point. And I feel better. And you feel better. You can breathe easy now. Suzanne, come on in here. I mean, anyone that's worked in decor and design hears this. from folks and they hear, you hear, I don't know how to place my furniture. What do you think in terms of the rules that Shai has outlined?
I was listening to you very closely.
Yeah.
I think they're great. I also love how this art over here balances the fireplace really nicely, and that's another trick too. Everything you said, bang on. I loved it. Yeah.
Really good little lesson there, Shai. I love it.